Ain't like I no bad guy. It's just that I make bad decisions and bad choices, So trying to get my thinking right, I guess.
It's all right. Ed.
Yes, sir.
Ed, where'd you grow up? Where are you from?
I'm originally from Georgia.
What part?
I'm originally from a place called Macon, Georgia. Yeah.
Tell me about your family.
Um, the only family at the time when I was growing up that I knew was my mom was a single thing. I go back further than that. It's my mom had me by a black guy back in 1970s, and that wasn't tolerated back then. So basically, for a long time, her family disowned her because she had a baby outside of the race.
So your mom was white.
My mom's white, yes. And growing up, I was 5 years. Well, before that,
Did you know your dad?
I never met my dad. No, I never met my father. I asked my mom where my father was when I was about 5 years old, and she asked me to have a seat. And she said that he went to get something to celebrate after he found out that she was pregnant, and he never came back. So I've never seen my father. And growing up, my mother used to work as a waitress, and she used to bring guys over, and guys used to come in my room, touching on me and feeling on me. And I used to tell my moms, and she didn't want to believe me at the time.
Not that it's important, but it was
Yeah.
white guys or black guys?
I'm sorry?
These are white guys or black guys?
It was basically all. She was basically bringing all on. Basically, she was doing white, black, Mexican, Latino. Basically, yeah, it was like a spread of them. No particular race.
All different flavors.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Basically, yes, sir. So it put in my head that my own family didn't want me. So I was like in a tumble. So my mom went to the military when I was turning like 13, like 9. I'm sorry, and she met a guy that was in the Marines, and they hit it off pretty good, and later on he became my stepfather, and I traveled with him a lot over the years, but some of the times I went with my grandparents, and they stayed in Tallahassee, Florida, and when I got like 15 or so. I got into it with my stepdad, and I ran away, and I went to Houston, Texas, and I was in a place called Acres Homes in North Houston, and like I had so much anger with my mom and my dad, and build up, and that I shot a guy when I was like 15. And they caught me, and I went to prison. Like I was on the run for a while. I went to prison when I was like 18, and I did like 16 years on that. Yeah, and I mean, in the prison, I had like.
Did you kill him?
Yeah, I killed him. Yes, and in prison, I was in so many fights, and you get like, people touching you and doing you in the showers and stuff. It's crazy shit. But so I mean, it had me messed up for a while. I mean, I was like questioning myself for a long time. It's like, if my own parents don't love me, I mean, then shit, nobody loves me. And so I had, before then, I was like 13 or so. We can go back a few minutes. I had my cousin. He was my best friend in my whole world at the time, and he got shot in the back of the head. We was walking from the store, and he died in my arms. He got shot in the back of the head with a stray bullet of a 12 gauge shotgun, and it blowed his head over, and he died in my arm. And my grandfather was.
It wasn't meant for him.
I'm sorry?
The bullet was not meant for him.
It was not meant for him. No, it was not at the time. No, it wasn't meant for him. He was a good dude. He was always in school. See, me and him was totally opposite. See, I didn't like school at all. If I wouldn't have went to prison, I don't even think I would have graduated. I wouldn't even got a GED or anything.
How far did you go in regular school?
I never went. I mean, it was boring to me. I mean, I always skipped school, went out and got high, got drunk, or whatever the case may be. I mean, I never even went to school. I never liked it school. From middle school to all the way up to high school, I never liked the school. I mean, it was just so boring to me, time consuming, waste of time is what I thought, basically. I mean, I felt like my own parents didn't love me, didn't want me around or anything. And like, it's like my grandparents was like the worst at the time, because it's like they was like truly like fed up that that my mom went with a black guy and had a baby with it and kept the baby, because I heard that they wanted her to have an abortion or whatnot, but she didn't have the abortion, so that really pissed them off. So it's like they disowned her and they took her out of everything. So she was like living from friend to friend's house and living on couches and living on the floors. And I mean, like I said, eventually she went to the military and got her life together and got her life on track. And like I said at the time, so she got the stepdad. He's cool. He's a cool dude, but at the time I didn't want to hear it, because I was thinking that I was the man of the house. So we got into it, and blows went into to it. So and I was like, I'm out of here. So like I said, I went to Houston. I was in Houston, Texas for like 28 years and getting in trouble from left and right. I mean, from petty stuff to like stealing shoes from somebody, or going in a house and doing like serious crime of like kicking people doors in with a 12-gauge shotgun just to rob, just to get my high feel, I mean, I used to. And the one that got me the worst was, it was elderly people. Like I said, I was like 17, 18 when I got caught up on that one. And I shot this guy, and it wasn't intended to shoot him, but it happened. And like I said, I was on the run for like 3 years or so. And they caught me when I was like 17 and a half, almost 18. And they gave me 16 years for that. And
so you killed who?
It was basically it was one of the guys that I saw that was when I was younger, that I recognized in my mind that was him. And I wasn't like trying to ask him any questions or not. I was just trying to get rid of him, basically. So I just wanted to wound him or scare him or something, but the bullet, it went here, basically, and it went through his heart. So they gave me, like I said, 16 years. So I went in the penitentiary and at a young age, and they tried me as an adult. And they said that I needed protection while I was in. So basically, that's basically how I got basically involved in gang activity and gang violence.
When you were in prison? When
I was in prison, yeah. Because they say you need, and that's when you had to do a lot of mold work or whatnot. You had to do a lot of. I had to do some killing when I was in the penitentiary too. I killed like 4 people when I was in, just to prove myself to them that I was loyal, as they say.
What kind of?
With a shank, you make a shank out of the prison. You stab them. You can stab them in the lunch line, chow line. You can stab them in the shower. Stab them whenever they're doing counts on the hall. And
who are your victims?
Basically, it was basically my own color, basically black and Latino, basically was
But for what reason were they?
Basically because the person owned it, they wanted them to have them out so that they could take over what they was doing, because basically they were selling the drugs in the prison.
Oh, so
they were selling the Mexican. Basically, they were selling basically the cocaine and the heroin. And they were splitting that up with
so you're getting rid of the competition.
Pretty much. They cut after a while. They gave me the name of street sweeper, basically. So because if a person had a problem, they just called Ed to alleviate it. And I got bored, so that was my thing, man. It's like I didn't have nobody. My own family didn't love me, so nobody in this damn world is gonna love me. So I was like in a spiral down. And believe it or not, I actually got married. And I was married for a minute, I was married, and my wife got killed in front of me, and that was another thing. That I cussed God out, I cussed everybody out, and it's like I'm like, damn, it's like nothing is going right in my world. It's like every time I meet somebody that's good, or every time that things is going right in my life, it's like, boom, they're taken away from me. It's like, what? It's like that song is so true, only the good die young, and that's a suck statement. And I had words with God, and I'm like, what the hell, God? And I'm like, why the hell are you gonna take her? Like, she was a good woman, my wife, she was Mexican and Cuban, and it's like every time she get married, she'll talk all that. And I said, I don't speak that mess, speak English, she get mad, but yeah, it's like she was my best friend though, She was a good woman, and that made me like, harden my heart, I guess, against God, and like, what the hell is really going on here? It's like my cousin got killed, and he was like into school and all of that, and and my wife, she got killed, and she was a good woman. I mean, she was a faithful woman, and I was the asshole, and I was still here, and I didn't understand it, and I just kept questioning why things was happening in that fashion, and like I said, after that, it's like I just got into a heartless, you know. It's like we only live to die, you know. So I closed myself up. I didn't want to get close to nobody after that. But my wife, she got killed by a drunk driver. She was getting off of work. She worked in a hospital. She worked in a hospital in Dallas, Texas. And she was getting off of work and getting in a quarrel. And I was going to go to surprise her, basically, in an underground garage. And a drunk driver came, and he was going like at least 80 miles an hour or so, because her car was basically at an angle, and he was coming in the wrong way. And she was at her driver's door getting in. And he ran into the door, and he cut her literally in half, because he smashed the door into her, and he cut her in half. And the front part of her went on his car, and the rest of it went back of the car. And yeah, it's like, and then that was like right in front of me. It's like it just made me like question everything. It made me question existence, question life, question God, and like I said, I just closed up, and I started just going on around the world. It's like I just basically just shut down and just went around every state of the United States. It's like, I went to 9 countries, and I went to the baddest one that I liked was Okinawa, Japan. I learned I got a black belt in Okinawa, and man, it's like I had a cousin growing up too. It's like she was raped in front of me. She was gang raped in front of me, and they held me down and made me watch. And
this happened in where? Houston?
I'm sorry?
Where did this happen?
This happened in Georgia. This was when I was younger. This was when I was like 12 or so. And she was like 15 or 16 at the time. And yeah, they raped her. And it was like 10 of those guys. And they made me sit there and watch that. And they said that's how me and I told the guys about that when I was in prison, because that's when I got in. And basically, they came back and they got this dude, man, and that was crazy. They got this guy, and they tied him. Basically, they put him in a old abandoned building, and they nailed his balls to the floor, and they gave him a butter knife and set the building on fire, and he burned to death in the fire. And I mean, like I said, I went on years and years with that, because they showed me love, you know. They showed me support
in
my own
knife,
family.
What's the significance of a butter knife?
It was just like basically throw it in his face, you know, laugh. Either pull your nuts off or die.
Oh, I see.
Pretty much, you know.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Because I mean, he wanted to rape somebody. I mean, this dude was like in his 20s or something. He raped her, you know. So I mean, but yeah, it was crazy. But like I said, it's like I went that way, yeah. But it's like at the time I was so confused in my head, you know what I'm saying? Having guys come in my room and touch me at a young age, you know. I was confused myself, you know. I didn't know what the hell to expect. And then my own mom wouldn't believe me, and my own dad wouldn't even stay in my life, having, you know, separation and abandonment issues. I mean, it's like I was just basically toe up from the floor up. So it's like it made my heart and just freeze up on me, and it's made me not want to be around anyone or anything. So I mean, like I said, I was in Texas. After Texas, I went to a place called Lincoln, Nebraska. And Lincoln, Nebraska, it was cool as shit, but it snows like a mug out there. And I mean, it was just these people. I mean, it's like a college town, man. And I got into the meth out there real bad too. So I started robbing stores out there. I started kicking in stores. I started breaking in stores. I started breaking in houses and stuff out there. It's just crazy. And then that brought me up into homelessness. I lost my job out there, and then basically back on the streets again. I mean, so I mean, it's like it's been a turmoil for me. It's like try to do the right thing, and like I say, I take one step forward and 1,000 steps backwards. You know, so yeah, it's been a turnaround.
And what is your drug today on Skid Row?
Oh, my drug today, I try to keep it to. I smoke meth still, but I try not to smoke as much. My drug today is like weed, basically. Yeah, weed and alcohol, pretty much.
And has your life improved or become worse since you've been on Skid Row?
I mean, I think it's becoming more and more worse, I think, because I mean, I've lost my ID, I've lost all my documents. Like more than one time I had lost so many phones and stuff. I mean, it's pretty bad out here. I mean,
when you fall asleep after being up for 5 days on crystal meth, you'll lose everything.
Yeah, you lose everything. That's so true. That is so true.
It happens to everybody.
And I had a tent burn up on me. I had somebody set my tent on fire with me in it, you know. And I had a can of butane right. But see, God must have been looking out for me on that night. Yeah, I was over on 5th and Crocker where I had that tent, and somebody came and they set my tent on fire, and I had a can of butane right beside where they set the fire at, and it didn't blow up. So that let me know that God was looking out for me on that day, you know. And even here, I mean, I had so much anger, so much rage out here that people was stealing from me. I used to go around beating people's head with a 2x4. I mean, I hit like 5 or 6 people in the head with like 2x4s and brass knuckles and stuff like that. I mean, I had...
You're collecting debts, or you were just going crazy?
I was just losing my friggin' mind out there, dude. It's like people were stealing from me, and I'm like, I didn't know if it was my own friends, that so-called friends say that they was doing it, or whoever was doing it, because they was helping me look for it, but they didn't seem like they cared about anything that was stolen or anything. So, I mean, it was crazy. And then when I was here over by the LA Mission, I got stabbed over there twice. And I got shot 3 times here. I got shot at Gladys Park, and I got shot at San Julian Park, and then I got shot down there by the Midnight Mission. And that was like, shit, the first time was like 2016, 2018, and 2020, like 2 years apart, you know. And
so it's not your time yet.
I hope not, man, because I ain't ready yet. For real. I mean, God is good. That's all I can say, man. I mean, it's like through all the trial, I got 2 kids, and I put my kids through a lot of crazy stuff too, man. It's like I would always be drunk high. You know, I wouldn't be fit enough for them to even communicate with. I couldn't even talk to my own kid. It's like my daughter was 18. You know, my kids don't drink, they don't do drugs or anything. They don't even smoke cigarettes, you know, that's a blessing. But my daughter she's 28 now. My daughter was 18. She said, "Dad, I love you, and I always love you, but I don't like you no more." She said, you act like an asshole, and I don't want to see you anymore. And she said, "If I have kids, you'll never see my kid." And she said that shit, and she meant that too. And she had grandkids, she got kids, I mean, and I haven't seen my grandkids yet. And I got a 2-year-old grandson, and I got a 4-year-old granddaughter. I see them on Duo or video chat, but I haven't seen them yet, you know. And I mean, that's another thing that goes inside, you know, goes in my head. It's like, damn, I mean, I haven't seen my dad, and now I haven't seen my grandkids, you know. And I got a son that's in Dallas, Texas. He does video game repairs and stuff. Like I say, my kids is the total opposite of me, though. But like I said, growing up in my life, I mean, like I said, it made me question a lot about myself. And to this day, I'm still questioning myself. I mean, it's like if my own parents didn't love me or wouldn't love me enough to defend me or stand up for me or like they support me, then who the hell in this world with it? And it shows. I mean, this world has basically been kicking my ass, or I've been basically getting the short end of the stick, or I just been doing what I feel is right. Survival mode. I've been living in survival mode my whole life. So yeah, basically.
Ed, what would you say is your biggest regret in your life?
My biggest regret, hurting my wife and my kids. and hurting my mom, that's my biggest regret right there, because my
Hurting
mom's
them
my
by
best
disappointing
friend.
them?
Yes, disappointing them, yeah, letting them down all the time, telling them I wouldn't do this and do it again. Man, I done hugged on my mom so many times in a juvenile jail cell, and in a prison jail cell, and I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, I just wanted to do the right thing, and it always backfired and blow up in my face. So I need to change my way of thinking, you know. But like I say, it's who I used to grow up with, because Acres Homes and Fifth Ward in Houston, Texas. I mean, that's not really good, you know. I mean, you got a lot of what they call them gorillas out there, and they hungry, you know. They hungry, they hungry. And if you ain't got no money, you put a nigga out there with no money, they're gonna do whatever it takes to get it. You know, that's why they say we stay hungry. You know, and I mean, like I say, I right up here, I slept right up here by the wine garden, and I seen a dude get hit in the head with a 2x4 with a nail through it, right in his head, right here. And I mean, wait, and I went to sleep, and I mean, that night somebody was looking out for me then, because nobody said nothing or did nothing to me that night. And like I say, it's been crazy.
How old are you, Ed?
I'm sorry?
How old are you?
Me, I'm 51.
You're 51.
Yes, sir.
You still have time to make changes?
I hope so. Because I'm getting tired of busting my head in the rocks. I'm tired of doing the same old repeat over and over again, you know? But yeah, like I said, God must not be finished with me yet. But like I said, I had a lot of questioning with God, and I still do got that questioning. I'm like, why is he letting my cousin die who ain't done nothing, and my wife die who hasn't done anything? My grandfather, I can understand that. That dude lived to be 104 years old, but he was like the coolest dude I ever met in my life. He was like Superman to me. He couldn't read or write, but he was in World War II. He was everything. But yeah, when this dude died, I cried for like 2-3 weeks, man. When he died, he was like the coolest dude ever. And like I said, we just went on a spree after my grandfather. It's like just drinking and going down. It's like drinking, like scrapping, going into abandoned buildings, breaking into people's houses. I mean, it just went from one thing to the next. And I mean, then the drugs got even harder. Then I started shooting up. I started doing heroin back then real bad. And then I stopped that shit. I'm glad I did. And but I started back with the meth, and then I started with the alcohol. Like I said, then I needed to feel my fuel, because I couldn't work. Because like I couldn't work, like I didn't want to work, like I didn't feel right being around people. You know, it's like people was just looking at me or judging me, or you know, like you know, just talking about me. And then every time they laugh, it's like made me feel some type of way. And it's like I didn't know how to approach it, and I didn't know how to deal with it. So it just made me more angrier and angrier. And one time I went to work, and I took 2 pistols with me to work, because I thought people were actually talking about me. I thought people was actually trying to plot against me to do something. And I was shooting up in the top of the break room, basically, and they called the police on me there, and I tried to run out the window, and they basically they brought me down and took me to jail on that one. But the worstest one that made me like mad with the police too is I was in Houston, Texas, and I was like, shit. Before I got arrested, I was like 15 and a half, and I was bigger than this. I was way bigger. And I got pulled into by a mistaken identity, as they call that crap. And they pulled me up. They put the zip ties on the back of my arms and my legs, and then they put the handcuffs on me, and they threw me in the alley. And I mean, it was like 10 of them. And then they beat me with those sticks. I mean, they beat the dog. Man. I was in the hospital for like 6 months, man.
The cops did this?
Cops, yeah. Beat the dog crap out of me.
And you weren't even guilty? Nah,
I wasn't even nowhere near that. I was nowhere around all that. And it was crazy, man. It was crazy. But I was on the streets in Houston, Texas for about 2.5 years. And I got in with Swisher House. Swisher House, that was the biggest recording thing back in the day. But now they got more of them. I started out with security with them, you know, and that was sweet. That was pretty cool, man, because you get to fight, show off your skills and stuff out there. And this dude was drunk one time, hit him and broke out 2 of his teeth. You know, and I started to start to like seeing people in pain, you know, because it took away my pain, I guess. I don't know, but I started liking that stuff. So then I started basically trying to start fights everywhere I go back, you know, and it was crazy because I mean I was just fighting people for no apparent reason, just starting fight with people, just putting people in the hospital for no reason, and just using, taking advantage of the ability that I was taught, you know, and it was just starting to get too much for me, you know. It's like too much. It's like people expect too much from you, you know. They want you this, but you're not really willing to do all of that. So you said nah, and then you get back homeless again, and then yeah, you know, it's just crazy.
Ed, what would you say is the most important lesson you've learned in your 51 years?
I'm sorry?
What would you say is the most important lesson you've learned in your 51 years?
My important lesson is to slow down and smell the roses, to be grateful, and family first, you know. And for a long time growing up, I thought my family was a bore. I thought my family was a waste of time. I thought my family, you know, didn't really love me or didn't care. But you know, I didn't really know it all like that. I didn't know everything that I thought I knew. And what I really learned in life is to just slow down and smell the roses, basically, and to be grateful. And today, and tomorrow's not guaranteed, and the next 5 minutes is not guaranteed. And from what I've seen so many friends and so many family members just die for no reason or get killed for no reason. And yeah, that's what making me learn now to be grateful and just slow down.
All right. Ed, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
I wish you the best of luck from here on out.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
That was a blessing. You have a great day.